Hello, welcome to day 3 of the All Things Thighs series. We're going to start with the belly position to get nice and warmed up.
All right, so block will be flat on the floor, horizontal to the mat. And let's just get the breath warmed up here. Block will be directly over top of the belly button. You can stay up on your elbows initially. And let's first off connect to the inhalation phase of the breath.
As you're starting to settle in, just become aware of the sensations. Expect to feel pain, pressure, a pulse, even referred pain. These are all normal sensations. The rule of thumb is your breath is your guide. As long as you are breathing in a relaxed way, you are feeding and healing your cells. If any position hurts too much that it takes that relaxed breath away, that's your body letting you know that that work is too intense and back off to a less intense version. And if you can, always breathe in and out through your nose. Now that you're settling in a little more, let's turn our attention to the exhalation phase of the breath. This is the more challenging phase of the breath because this is when the diaphragm muscle is lifting up against the force of gravity. This is also the most important phase of the breath because we need to clean out the tissue, the cells, the lungs before pulling oxygen in. So as we go through this process, let's exhale for a count of 6 and inhale for a count of 4. And you want the breath to be full and complete in the ranges, but not forced. So if you can hear yourself breathing, let's see if we can tone it down a little bit so it's not, there's not so much force behind it. And after each full exhalation, let's see if you can even stay for a moment and really pay attention to the sensations you're experiencing. And with each breath, let's see if we can go a little deeper in the core. With this work, you are literally wringing the toxins out of the organs, out of the cells in general, and through that process of full exhalation, moving those toxins out of the body. We'll take 3 more full, slow exhalations here. And when you're ready, place your hands under your shoulders and exhale up and off. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our legs straight in front of us and we're going to get into a forward bend. So don't worry about what's going on with the feet yet. Just come forward and just notice. We're going to start with that left leg. Notice where you feel in that hamstring, wherever it may be, where you feel that pressure, that tension. And we're going to add one more piece in. We're going to pull that ankle up so the toes are straight up toward the ceiling and just feel in through there where those limiting factors are for you in this range.
There's a lot. Trying to pinpoint this.
Well, and we probably won't get to all of them, but just to note the changes as we go.
Yeah, even in the calf and slightly here, but no, there's definitely a lot back of the knee traveling up the hamstring.
Okay, so we're going to be doing 3 different heights on the hamstring, and we're going to start with just below the sit bone. So Quinn's going to demonstrate how to get in here.
So we'll have the block very similar to the piriformis position if you've done that one before. So the block's going to be on its side like this, again horizontal to the mat, And then simply we're just going to sit on the block like this pretty well at the gluteal fold. Let's come a little bit more here. So we're right at the top of the hamstring. Once we're here, you can bend your opposite leg for support, and then we can just stay up on the hands like this.
And if some of you have issues with this, you can be up against a couch so that your back is resting on the couch. You can put another block or a pillow cushion underneath that right butt just to give you a little more stability. You can even be in a hurdler stretch for this one if that makes more sense. So to begin with, let's just settle in now. You can just rock back and forth a little bit to persuade that block to go a little more deeply. And then you can even take that upper body forward a little just to get that hamstring stretch going. And then once you feel like you're sinking in a little more deeply, let's see what happens when we take that leg over to the left a little bit and then turn your upper body toward the inside, toward the right. And so we're now targeting just a little bit of that medial aspect, that inner side of that hamstring to begin. We're just going to play around here for a minute or so. This can also be done on a chair, this position, if you're struggling with the floor. And if you want to do a little toggle, I like that wiggle. It just persuades that block to get a little more deeply invested in the fascia. And now let's just very slowly walk the upper body over to the left. So we're rolling a little bit more to that outer aspect of that hamstring. You can take that leg in if that helps. Just noting in yourself wherever you feel the most sensation. We'll spend one more minute here. You feeling some pain?
Oh, definitely. Actually not too bad on the outside. I was feeling more on the inside.
So let's go to wherever you feel you need to spend the most time. That's where we want you to be.
Oh.
We'll take 3 more full slow exhalations here.
Whoa. There is some chaos in here. Oh man. I need to create order.
It's kind of spooky. When someone's listening to this in July, they're going to wonder why I said that.
It's Halloween today.
Okay, and exhale off of the block. Okay, that's just the warm-up. All right, we're going to target the middle portion of the hamstring with this one. It's going to be a fun one.
And if you're wearing shorts, let's just slide them up a little bit so we can have the block directly on skin. So the block will be on its tall side here. We're going to have it pretty well as high up as we can while in this seated position. And we're going to angle the block towards the body, and let's grip the block on, and then we're going to hang on to the block like this as we slowly pull the block towards the body. This is where we're going to start and hang out.
Yeah, so just start with that heel on the floor if it reaches, and even get a sense that you're pulling your rib cage up. Bring the shoulder blades back and down so you feel nice and tall through here. And then once you feel that that's hooked in really nicely, we're going to do 5 extensions. Exhale as you extend the leg. Inhale as you bring it down. We want to go nice and slow. How's that feel?
Good.
Good.
I always get the shakes when I work the hamstring.
Now, after this fifth one, let's just keep that leg up here and see if we can just take it left to right while it's extended. Just a little bit, micro movements here. You can even feel that you're leaning your body in a little more, creating more compression in the area. Are you getting to any pain? Oh, good. I think I'm the happiest when I see you're in pain.
Wow.
How demented is that?
Yeah, it's not okay.
It's the good pain, though. It's not the bad pain. As long as you're laughing with it, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to spend one more minute here.
With it straight like this?
You can play around a little bit. You can bring it back to the ground.
Like I'm feeling a lot right here.
Yeah. Once you start to settle in and sink a little more, then it's easier to just kind of locate where you need to be and be wherever that is. Those corners, those edges, they're lovely when they start to sink in. We can go nice and deep to the bone, which is where we want to get to.
Mm-hmm. And you really have to give it some time, because if you're just jumping in trying to find deep pain immediately, that's not necessarily going to happen, especially in the hamstring position. So just giving it that time, what we did to warm up, and now I'm so much deeper, I'm able to search for the most compressed area on my hamstring and get deep, deep in that area.
3 more exhalations here. And release and come out of position. One more spot on this left hamstring.
All right, so for this one, we're gonna have the block back to its side, again, horizontal to the mat. And then just above the knee, we're going to angle the block now away from us. So before we were angling it towards us, we're angling it away, so it's more of that edge that's gonna be digging in.
And then as you said, you start with it flat and then you pull the fascia as you angle it. So you're drawing it down.
So here and then, and you can feel, it might even feel like your skin is like getting pulled, but that's all the more the superficial layers of fascia underneath that we're wanting to release. And then we'll start getting deeper.
Yeah, so initially, again, if you want to take that heel just to the floor, just until you feel nice and settled. And from here, we're going to start with rolling the leg out slightly. And then let's do some exhales. So as we exhale, we're going to straighten that leg, inhale down to the floor.
While being externally rotated?
Yeah, while that leg is rotated out. So you're getting more of that outer aspect. There's 2 hamstring tendons that go behind the knee. On that outer aspect, there's one that goes on the inner side. So we're working these 2 tendons that get glued together and we're freeing them up. And there was a couple of comments about when to exhale, when to inhale. So typically with any movements, we want to exhale through the more painful or the more forceful action and inhale with the release. So starting from neutral with the foot on the floor, we exhale as we lift, we inhale as we bring that foot back down. Let's do 3 more breaths here. And now let's roll the leg so we're getting more of that inner aspect. And just allow it to settle in for a breath or 2. And then let's exhale as we extend. How's it feeling?
Good.
Good. With these extensions, we're lengthening the hamstring where that block is, and that provides a lovely ability to release those adhesions, to dive deeper. Let's do 3 more breaths here. And then just bring that heel back down, just roll the leg back to that neutral position, and then take that block out. And let's revisit that forward bend and see what that feels like now.
Oh, wow.
Nice changes?
That's huge change.
Huge change.
I'm like 6 inches closer.
So when you're stretching too, just like with the block, we want to go into that edge where we feel pain, but where we can breathe in a relaxed way, and we want to hold. That's what's going to allow that stretch to stay. If we just pulse, then we're just kind of going to it, but pulling away like a spring. So we really want to hold and own with the breath. And now let's compare that right side. In fact, put both legs together and lean forward and just notice how you don't even probably feel that right foot or that right or left leg.
No, I know. Oh, man.
Cool. So get into that right leg, close your eyes, get a sense of where you feel those grips, what's sticking, what's causing you pain, all of those things, those limitations are what we're working with. We'll take 3 more breaths here. And then we're going to dive into that right hamstring.
All right, so first position on the right leg, block will be on its side, horizontal to your mat again, similar to that piriformis one, but we'll have the block right at the gluteal fold, so we're at the top of the hamstring. And then we're just going to rest on our hands like this. And the more you can come directly over top of the block, the more body weight you're gonna have obviously directly on the block. So that's gonna be more pressure, you can get deeper, but you can start back like this if you need to, then you can work your way up. And then I just have my left leg bent here for support of the pelvis.
And again, you can have a cushion, a block, something underneath that left glute, which will just help you with balance if you're struggling, or be against a couch, or you can sit on a chair and just have it in the same position. All of those variations work. So once you settle in a little bit, let's take that right leg over to the right slightly, and then turn your upper body into your center, so you're targeting more, again, that medial aspect of the hamstring. And if you get onto any of those speed bumps, those dense areas, that's where that toggle really comes into place, because they're literally rolled and hooking through your whole femur bone. So there's all these different areas of glue and adhesion. So just, that vibration helps to move those adhesions, helps you to sink in a little more deeply. And then let's just take a moment and roll to the outside so you can find in yourself where you have more pain. And then from there, you want to stay with that area where you feel the most sensation. And we are anything but symmetrical, so likely it will be very different from one side to the other.
Yeah, I can feel a big adhesion here.
Let's take 3 more full slow exhalations here. And when you're ready, slowly exhale off the block.
All right, so now we're gonna move more so to the mid hamstring. So this is the one we're gonna have the block on its tallest side here, still horizontal to the mat. You can bring your shorts up if you can, and then let's bring the block pretty well as high up as you can while keeping the pelvis on the floor. And then we're going to be angling the block towards us for this one. And you'll want to grip onto the block here so it doesn't slip out. And we'll start here.
Yeah, just get comfortable. You can pull your rib cage up, your shoulder blades back. You can even lean forward a little bit to give yourself a little more pressure. And then we're going to do 5 extensions. Exhale, extend the leg. Inhale, bring it back down. Just creating a little bit of movement in here, help us get a little deeper. And then let's extend that leg and let's hold it up there as we see if we can move left to right a little bit just to find a new direction to persuade the block to sink. And if you feel like you're getting in there to some really good stuff, you can just explore in yourself as well. Take another minute here. We've got all these nice rounded corners and edges to utilize. Let's do 3 more full slow exhalations here. Use that breath, moving the pain, the waist. When we're doing this work and we're releasing those adhesions, waste gets pumped into the bloodstream. That's what we're doing, is we're cleaning those cells. The exhalation is the powerful driver of moving that waste out of your body. Again, your core is like a sponge. You're wringing it clean with every full exhale. And exhale off of the block.
Oh, all right.
All right.
So now we're going to move more to the base of the hamstring. So we're going to turn the block back to its side. And then we're just going to position it just above the knee here. And then once we have the block positioned flat, then we're going to angle the block slowly away from us. And you should be feeling that pull in the tissue as soon as you start angling the block away from you.
And then just take a couple of breaths just to cement the block in place. And then when you're ready, let's roll to the outer aspect. And then we're going to exhale as we straighten the leg. Inhale, heel to the floor. Last breath on this side. And then let's take that leg back to neutral and roll toward the inside. And then extend as we lift. We exhale with the straighten, inhale with the release. We'll do 3 more breaths like this. And when you're done, let's just place that heel back on the floor, roll back to neutral. Just another couple of breaths. And exhale out of position. And then we'll go back into this forward bend.
Oh yeah.
You look like butter.
Oh, I can feel now the restrictions in the calf.
Well, you know which class you're going to do for that.
I think I do. Oh man.
So now bring both legs together and come into your forward bend. So if you're wanting to continue blocking, what we do now is we go into this forward bend. Notice where you feel those limitations. That's where you want to block. So when we combine the stretch with the blocking, we can do that with each position. We go into the forward bend. What's the next limiting factor? Block that area. Go back in that forward bend and it will move. It might be the back of the knee. It might be the calf. It might be your low back. It doesn't matter where it is. If it's causing you pain, that's where your fascia is the next sticking spot, and that's what we want to work on. Nice. There's your buddy.
All right.
Your best friend. All right. So that completes the All Things Thighs series. To add to this, if you can do day 3 of the knees and the hips, that's going to tie everything together and just give you that extra added bit for your own transformation. Thank you for joining.